what Popovich told me. Step back, kid, back at it, man. We're looking at the Spurs, and a lot of people are writing these dudes off. But guess what? They still a roster. They still got some vets, and they still got pop in that system. And I'm gonna tell you, there's gonna be a lot of improvement players on this team. I'm excited. Let's jump in and look at the transaction to see what has happened over the past couple months, right? From a signings perspective, Derek White re-signed. Okay, that's big for them. London Parantis, for some reason, they enabled him. They re-signed London Parantis. Excuse me, they let him go. I'm sorry. They let London Parantis go. That makes sense. Kyrie Thomas looks to be off of the team as well. And then Kyler Kelly is another guy. Cam Reynolds, they let him go as well. Kate's Dyson Diop, he's moving around a lot. I mean, he's just trying to find a slot to play. I get it. I understand it. You know, I don't know where he's going to play at, but he's made this team. Devin Vass was their draft pick. Trey Jones joins the squad. Good old Wiley vet from Minnesota. Jacob Poto at the center position. Then you got Quindary Weatherspoon, another guy, you know, I don't call him journeyman or nothing like that, but you know, he's around. He's around. Drew Eubanks as well, number 20. You know, good 3-point shooter. Let's see where he ends up. He was a free agent. Then they signed him. So guys that they ended up keeping and extending options. Keldon Williams, their new draft pick. I love him. I love Lonnie Walker. We're going to talk a lot about him. And then Luka Samanic. Hey, the forgotten soul, man. No one's talking about Luka. Talking about all the other big rookies. What about Lucas Samanic? He was another guy that's supposed to be special in the NBA. Now let's just jump into it. DeJounte Murray, my man, DeJounte lost a little shorty, busted his shoulders off, came right back. Say, go ahead, go to the NFL then, girl. Doing his thing right now. I like what I'm seeing DeJounte. Big year for him. He is really making strides, especially off of that big injury he had. I love DeJounte Murray. That's a starter. That's your starter. Patty Mills comes off the bench. Love that. 3-point shooter. They're solid here, man. I mean, they're not super great, right? They're not like unstoppable, scary, but they're solid. They're above average. DeJounte Murray and Patty Mills is an above average. Depending on the trajectory of DeJounte, is where this team is probably going to go. Derek White comes in at the third slot. Trey Jones, obviously, he's the real third slot for me. He's a third point guard here. Love what Pop did here. Good lineup, solid 3-point shooter, and then your steady guy, Trey Jones, who doesn't do anything wrong. All right. We continue down into the starting position for shooting guard. This is where it gets interesting and deep. Okay. Interesting and deep. They are going small ball. Usually DeMar DeRozan will play this role, right? They got Derek White on the depth chart, right? Even though that's not true. Derek White's there. Lonnie Walker, huge player. Guys, look in my eyes. Lonnie Walker, if given the time and exposure, is a star in this league. I said it because I know it. Test me, come back, watch the film, watch about 20 games, and then you come back and tell me if I'm wrong. Lonnie Walker's special. But they also got another special, Keldon Johnson. Okay, Keldon Johnson is another, not at the level of a Lonnie Walker, but solid 6-man written all over him of the year. I love Keldon Johnson, what he's bringing from Kentucky. Another guy that can, again, help this team from a shooting guard position. They're stacked there, all right? Shooting guard, they are stacked to the hill. Love them there, right? They got a lot of different ways to go. Even Patty comes in there. The small forward, Keldon Johnson, they got him as a starter. Devin Vassell, their newly acquired draft pick, big defensive guy. And they got old Rudy Gay, I think he was more of a power forward. And DeMar DeRozan can also fulfill that slot. So that's interesting there. Love that makeup. And they're solid there. They're solid. Again, solid in all the positions. They're evened out. There's nothing bad here, right? Now we go into the power forward position. Rudy Gay, DeMar DeRozan. What about Trey Lyles and Lucas Samanic? They draft right, these guys, man. I'm serious. They draft the right picks that make sense. They need a power forward. They had a glut at the small forward, a glut at the guard, and solid at the point guard. They said they got Luka Samanic. Let's see what he does. But Trey Lyles is also there, another guy that has never been given the minutes. People are going to say, well, he hasn't produced. I'm telling you, another guy that can do some damage. DeMar DeRozan, they got him here. I don't think he's there. He's really a shooting guard. Rudy Gay, definitely a great backup. Okay, so you got Trey Lyles, Rudy, and Samnick. They're trying to go small ball and shoot the lights out of you. And LaMarcus Aldridge is currently injured. When he gets back, he's obviously going to step in that kind of role for a little bit. So now here goes where they're weak at. Okay, center position. Aldridge again injured. Jacob Poeltl is their center. They need help there. Right? They need more athleticism. They need help. I know Trey Lyles can play in spurts, and I know probably Lucas Simonic's going to have to play that in spurts. But size-wise, they're hurting, and that's probably their biggest area where they could use some support. And there's support out there in the G League, right, for the squad. But in all, solid team in the deep West Coast that could make some noise. Let's get into where they're headed again. Look at the faces of the roster. The new kid. I mean, this guy, the X factor for me is Lonnie Walker, his progression. They'll move with DeJounte Murray wherever he takes them. These two vets in Durenzen and Gay are just solid. They're going to give you what they're going to give you, right? Keldon Johnson's another guy who's also can make some noise. Again, not a bad roster, but can they get him, this guy Lucas Simonek, up to speed? Devin Vassell, how will he acclimate? Does LaMarcus Aldridge have any more years left in him? Those are the question marks. We shall see how this continues for this team. Now, let's go into where they rack and stack. And when you look at the West Coast, San Antonio Spurs play in the deep Southwest Division. Okay, there's a lot of new teams trying to make some noise in this division. All right, so we gotta make sense of this. I'm going to start from the bottom up because they're in that division. However, when you look at it, if I just trail up a little bit, you say, "Damn, damn." I mean, it's deep. It's deep. Okay, let's get into it. Who are they better than on this in the Southwest Division right now? If Houston keeps James Harden, they're not better than Houston. Okay, Houston's the best team out of that Southwest Division. Okay, now you look at New Orleans Pelicans. Is their progression enough where they can make the playoffs? I'm still iffy on that. They now have a technical big three in Zion, what's his name, Ingram, and Ball. Okay, I still believe in Ball because of his passing ability. Not bad. Okay, Memphis. They have John Moran, who's injured. They're going to get Jaren Jackson back. Who is their third guy, right? Don't know on this squad. They may not need it, but don't know. That's the question mark for me. They were very close to making the playoffs last year. I think, gel wise, they're probably one of the more best gel teams. If Minnesota could gel like this team, Memphis, there wouldn't be any question Minnesota would be in the playoffs. But Memphis, gel factor, team chemistry, huge. Dallas Mavericks, a team that they are hoping makes the playoffs, but Porzingis is again out and injured. They're going to have to start to look at maybe, if I were them, with all the injuries to Porzingis, I know time is not of the essence and time is not your friend. I would think about trying to get a good draft pick this year. Okay, I would love for them to get the 6 to 15 range for Dallas. Add one more piece due to all the injuries with Porzingis. The consistency is a problem, and with a budding star like Luka, you do not want to mess around. Got to let him go. So, I back to the Spurs. They're number 2 team. I got 2 or maybe 3 teams coming out of here, but Dallas and all these guys may lose out. All right, let me continue up. So Spurs are better than these 3 teams. Houston and Spurs, if Harden's still on Houston, that's what I'm just pitching as. He's still playing for him. You know the Lake Show's going to go. You know Cliff Show's going to go. Who else from this division? Warriors, they don't look too good. Phoenix, they look like they're going to make some noise. That could be your third team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the deep Northwest, the scary Northwest, another area. Denver is supposed to go, right? Denver is supposed to be there. You got 5 teams already, so 6. And then you got Trailblazers or Utah. There goes your 7 or 8. So in essence, they all have a slot. But if any of these teams start to get going, for instance, Portland starts moving real hard. Oklahoma City, I'm not gonna say they're gonna make. Golden State finally starts to figure out how to gel. There goes a problem. And I think in that division, they're probably the 6th team right now because of coaching. They're probably the 6th or 7th team in that division. So it's all about the growth. Zion grows out and figures, they get really great. Does the Kings? I'm still iffy on. I don't want them to make it. To be honest with you, that's why I'm talking about them. I don't really want them to make it. But Utah, and their strong chemistry fulfilled lineup. Do they continue to make noise? They become the fifth or sixth team. Does Minnesota finally make it happen? Not sure with the size they have at certain position. Even though I love Nas Reed, looks like there's a size issue there. They need a little bit more height. I'm not sure, but it's a tough run. San Antonio's definitely in. Are they going to beat out any of these two teams? Clippers, Lakers, Houston. Don't think so. Don't think so. Can they beat out New Orleans? Yeah, that's one I would say. Yeah. Can they beat the Phoenix Suns? Yeah, that's one maybe that can happen, right? So that's it. Those are teams. Denver, can they beat that team? Denver is a whole different squad. I talked about the progression of Bobo and Mike Porter Jr. If those guys don't go, forget about it. So definitely a way to play it is go with San Antonio for the playoffs. But are they making any noise? Not sure. Don't think so. First round now, and that's my predictions. Mikey stepping back right now, real late tonight, getting a little bit drowsy, so I'm gonna head off. But it was a dope conversation on the San Antonio Spurs and where they're going. I'm out. Peace.